You're gonna have a wonderful day today.
Thanks, buddy.
You're so terrible on the eyes. I don't know why I share a bed with you.
Hit me in the nose with a golf club?
I didn't think it would hurt that bad.
Alex, what do you want?
I want my money. That's it, bro.
You got it.
We have got to go right now.
Okay, go, baby. Go.
What's going on?
All right, hit and run. I didn't see it, so y'all. I'm just gonna sit back.
Open the joke.
I have no.
That's a nice attitude you got there. I didn't see it.
I didn't
so
see it.
Fuck you guys.
So I didn't see it, so fuck this review. What y'all give it?
Yeah, give me a rating now because this shit ain't ever going up.
It'll go up 2 weeks after the movie's out.
Well, it'll be long forgotten by then.
Yeah, it'll be
Really, man, I get it.
put it up with the loading bar reviews. No one will ever see it.
But you know what? I'm genuinely, I really am going to sit back and listen to you guys talk about it because you, Cyrus, I don't know how many of you. He's like, me? Yeah, you.
What did I do?
Didn't you do an interview?
I did. I got to interview Kristen Bell, which was something I was super excited about because big fan of the show Veronica Mars, or at least the first 2 seasons and not the totally shitty third season.
Hey, Cyrus, we posted
Dax
that.
Shepard, who I really had no feelings about one way or the other. I was like, okay, I don't even know if I know who this guy is.
And we posted that interview 3 months ago, right?
We did.
Perfect
Something
timing.
like that.
See, that's what I'm saying. That movie, they were like, they had the interview for this 3 months ago, and the movie's just now coming out.
Yeah.
So what's the deal?
Well, part of it is just like with these things, there's so many reasons it could have gotten pushed back. Even when we saw it, they were like, hey, this isn't all the finished effects, and even the credits weren't done. And it was like, it was one of the earliest screenings they'd done for anybody of the film.
And they didn't know if it was going to get a wide release.
Yeah. I mean, because this is really, in many ways, a personal project for Dax Shepard and Kristen Bell, who are one of those couples who can't keep their hands off each other. I mean, even when I'm interviewing them, I thought they were going to have sex right there. Seriously.
They didn't?
No, I was a little disappointed, admittedly, because I wouldn't have minded seeing that.
You had your old pants unzipped at the time.
I was waiting for them to have sex during the Q&A because they more than likely they probably did the same exact interview with you that they did at the Q&A, where I was like, man, just fuck already because that's going to be more interesting than this movie you just showed me.
Yeah, well, the funny thing is, like I wasn't there for any of that, but I've heard them in other interviews, and they are that kind of a nauseatingly annoying cute couple, like schmoopies.
Oh, Jesus.
And the thing is, that translates to this film.
Well, the thing is, though, I thought that was actually one of the things I liked about this film was that there was such obvious and real chemistry between these two characters, because it certainly isn't written strong enough to believe in their relationship in the film. But there was enough where you could see that there was electricity between them that I didn't mind so much that part of it, which is important because it's kind of key to get any enjoyment out of this film.
Well, I think because I almost feel like the chemistry worked against them because they know.
Wait a minute, hold on. What's the movie about?
Car chases.
That's it?
They're really, no, you know what the thing is? I came out of this movie saying, like, man, that was just an excuse to have car chases.
Yeah.
But I heard an interview with Dax Shepard 2 days ago, and he came out and said that.
he said
He actually did.
He said he's really into cars and stunt driving cars. He did almost all of his own driving in this movie. And for him, it was all about having cars and car chases and just writing a story for him and his girlfriend to have in it.
This is one of those things where it's very clear after talking to him. I was like, wow, you made this whole movie around just shit you like to do and you get paid to hang out with your now wife.
Damn, it's good to have some Hollywood money.
They aren't married yet.
Oh, he said they were.
Coles, wouldn't that be cool if you and I could just say, man, let's just go crash some cars and fuck hot chicks and, you know what, make a movie about it. And people will pay to come see it.
This will be the newspill.com.
Hell yeah, but you know what? Doing that, I'd be the ultimate asshole to everyone else who doesn't have money to spend like that.
It never stopped Adam Sandler or John Favreau.
Or Bam Margera, who made a fucking career out of doing what this guy did with his movie.
Well, here in this film, Dax Shepard and Kristen Bell are already in a relationship. And they're seemingly happy enough in it, but something happens where she basically has to go to L.A. and leave the little hamlet that they're enjoying life in, the cute little house they have, for a job in L.A. because her career, I forget what it was something really...
She has a specific degree.
Yeah, really
and a job
specific.
At the school that she teaches at, they come to her and they say, she's like, am I fired? He's like, no. But there's a job that fits your specification in L.A., and you better go take this job. I want to see you like following some man and getting stuck here and losing your life. You better go take this job because if you don't take it, you're fired.
Right.
So this is your only shot.
And the deal is that as she doesn't even realize. I mean, she knows that he's in witness protection, which is why he has to stay right there in this town. He can't leave. Right? Something is going on. She doesn't even know the details. She's not even allowed to know the details. But like when he loves her enough, he's like, all right, she's got to go. She can't stay here because of me. So fuck it. I'm just going to break witness protection. I'm going to go with her out to LA. I don't care what happens. I'm going to go. We're going to make sure she gets this job. And it's basically sort of like a road trip movie with these two. There's a bunch of different people on their tail. We find out that he was indeed not really a good guy as he claimed to be, but in fact was the member of a bank robbing gang that was led by a really weird performance by Bradley Cooper as the head of this gang.
Yeah.
I don't know if I really liked it or really hated it. I was
honestly, Bradley Cooper was the only thing I liked in this movie.
He was so bizarre.
There was a moment where his performance was enjoyable, but at the same time, it felt like he was really forcing it.
Then Tom Arnold, who is the hapless and really incredibly incompetent witness protection officer,
the marshal,
who's chasing them out there basically because he didn't know what the hell else to do.
The movie didn't know what to do with him.
You know what?
And her ex-boyfriend, who thinks he's going to take this opportunity now he's figured out who this guy really is, who Dax Shepard really is, to like get her back. It's played by Michael Rosenbaum,
Lex
who's
Luthor.
just this yuppie scumbag, basically. And so it's like, it's one of those movies. And basically, as you said, it is an excuse for them to get in car chase sequences every 7.5 minutes or so.
This was the most self-indulgent movie I've seen in a long time, and it felt like one of those movies that you see like at a film festival, like in the early days. I was like, wow, this movie seemed like it was lost in time. It seemed like it should have been released in the 90s when film festivals were blowing up, where people were just putting out everything more like films that you probably weren't going to see in the theater. And because it felt so amateurish to me, even though it had like a lot of major stars in it, but they were all doing this guy a favor because they all had a relationship.
Can I tell you
outside of
something
this
about
movie.
that too? I went to see a movie that Dax Shepard did. That it was pretty much his home movie. No one was really going to go see it. He just had the money.
Brothers Justice.
That's it. Yeah, apparently Dax Shepard just got money just to shoot shit and just whether nobody sees it or whether someone sees it or not, he can just go and shoot shit and just get friends to be in it. Because in that movie, he just went around and filmed his buddies like Ashton Kutcher and Bradley Cooper. So that I could see. When I saw this, I thought, he's just getting his friends together to shoot another fucking movie.
Well, yeah, he
really
admits that this movie was all about just calling in favors and getting his friends say, "Hey, let's just have fun making a movie." And idealistically, I don't have a problem with that. I think that certainly fun movies have been made that way. And I don't dislike this movie as much as you two guys did. I kind of liked it even, but I admit it is kind of incompetent and amateurish. It was just that it had a weird sort of heart all the way through the thing, that it felt like everybody you were watching in it was having a really good time doing it.
You know what, man? I hear what you're saying. It's like, I don't hate the movie. It did feel amateurish. I don't want to say it felt fake, but I felt like it didn't deliver to me on the emotion it was trying to carry. I will say I am impressed. Like I came out of the movie really not liking it at all. And the last couple of days, listening to Dax Shepard and Bradley Cooper interviewed, I'm like, you know what? I'm impressed by the fact that he got Bradley Cooper to do this movie for free. Because Bradley Cooper, his asking price right now is $15 million. I'm impressed that Dax Shepard did all this driving on his own. I mean, he, normally they won't let a star drive, and he just told him like, oh no, I got a stunt man. And he just went ahead and did it himself. And I'm impressed that production-wise, it cost $1 million. They spent $1 million on production and $1 million just to get the rights to the music.
Really?
I mean, however much was spent on advertising, that's probably in the several tens of millions.
Why don't you mugs get $15 million to become big stars so I can just call you to be in my movie anytime I want you to? What are you doing?
Well, I'm sure if they interviewed David Cronenberg and Robert Pattinson, they would probably come across as like the best of friends, getting their friends together to film this movie that everyone thought was unfilmable. I'm sure that would have won you over too. But you have to look at the of the material and the context of what the movie is. I mean, when you have a chase scene. And the idea of this chase scene is that this lead guy, is in a life-threatening situation. When you decide to start doing donuts for no goddamn reason whatsoever, just so you can get a close-up of the rims and the car and, get these wonderful shots where I was like, wow, this guy is doing donuts while people are shooting at him. But He's still doing donuts for like 10 minutes. Why?
And
Why?
that's what part of what undercuts the movie. It's like as much as I wanted to get into it, you'd have scenes like that where they go against life preservation mode. It's I'm driving away, but I'm going to go to this abandoned airfield and do donuts in a car that's clearly faster than the car that's chasing them, and yet it's just like it seems like a reason just to keep driving. So you lose whatever thread you had. It's like, okay, well at this point I guess it's just for motorheads who just want to geek out on
Or
the
just
car.
Dax Shepard that just loves doing
that's
donuts and driving
that
cars.
right there.
Well, and
Yeah.
there's the other problem with Jack Shepard getting his friends to
Dax
be in
Shepard.
Jack Shepard.
No, Jack Shepard's Lost. Dax. D-A-X.
We'll just call him Jack Shepard throughout the rest of the.
We're gonna have you look at the names of characters and actors before we start. Like
That's somebody I like.
what you call Paul Giamatti earlier, Paul Giamatti.
Giamaggio. Yes.
Hey, you know how I fuck up names too, so I can't say anything.
But you just did.
But he's throwing it.
He said, "Oh, I can't say anything about you." Wait, you just did say something.
I know.
I just let it slide. When I'm taking a shit, I let it slide.
You go ahead with your view, Cal host.
Carl host. He throws in Tom Arnold, who is completely and utterly useless as a character in this movie. I'm like, man, I know the guy's out of work, but did you really need to have him play this character that really didn't do shit, that really didn't amount to anything? He was there for comic relief. Sure, I get it.
You stand back or I will break you! Hear me? Hey, what are you doing? What are you doing, Randy? Nothing! What do you mean, nothing? I look out my window, you're ghost riding your van in the backyard, man. You're blasting holes and everything. Shut the up, Charlie. I'm sorry, man.
But the comedy was bad.
Well, he's the character that was so absurd that even with the sort of general level of silliness in the film, he felt really out of place. You're like, why is that guy? Is he actually? He should be mentally retarded, right? Because he's so much more dumb than the movie's standard level of dumb. That it's just hard to believe him there. And Tom, I'm sorry, Tom Arnold's just not that funny. I appreciate that he is a good guy. That people seem to like him a lot. He's got a lot of friends in Hollywood. Keep trying to give him other chances, but he's just doesn't got all that much charisma. I mean, he had his dick in Roseanne for a while is the reason he even has a career.
He was funnier then.
That was the funniest thing about it.
Which I figure should count as paying your dues. But I just was not that happy about seeing him here. I mean, I feel bad even saying that. I'm sure he's a really sweet guy, but not my thing. But I enjoyed most of the other actors who are in this. Like I said, I like Bradley Cooper. I like Michael Rosenbaum. I like David Koechner has a small reoccurring role in here as sort of a psycho redneck type character that I thought was funny.
David Koechner, that's all he ever gets to play.
Yeah, exactly. Beau Bridges has a small but kind of nice role in here.
I like Beau Bridges.
It's just I had more fun with it than I didn't, even while being aware of all the stuff you're saying is totally true. Like the thing I found that I disliked the most was just that at points it was so shamelessly gearhead and yet not terribly well filmed in a gearhead sense.
Yeah.
You're like, if you're going to do gearhead shit that's like unrealistic, make it where it's, whoa, that was cool gearhead shit, like Fast and the Furious.
Sure.
Don't just do this stuff where you're just lovingly watching yourself do donuts for a couple minutes.
And that's the thing I've heard Dax Shepard put down to Fast and the Furious. Like, well, man, in those movies, it's all CG, but I'm doing real driving. And I'm like, you're making a case for CG, my friend.
Yeah, you are.
You really are.
Yeah, I mean, there are a few, like Michael Rosenbaum. I mean, he will forever be Lex Luthor. But he's an actor who I always feel bad for because every time I see him in a comedy, I always think he's hilarious. I mean, even when he does interviews, the guy's hilarious. But he has a lot of friends in Hollywood, but not the right ones to where they can actually find a role that is suited and catered to him. I mean, because you could tell his friends write this character for him because they know him in real life. So it kind of comes across like that's the only way they can write him. To where I wish that they would have given him more, made his character just more fascinating.
I always think
the way I would have worked.
The thing that went wrong with Michael Rosenbaum's career is I had a point.
Damn, what happened?
That car just crashed, huh?
That thought just slipped right out your mouth, didn't it?
It totally did.
Use your Geritol.
I had it right there.
And you were so enthusiastic about it, too. You know, the thing is, like,
I know. Your head overheated.
Forget it now. I remember I was going to say, but it's
no, go ahead. No, you worked too hard for that.
I may have Alzheimer's, but at least I don't have Alzheimer's.
What do you think? When that thought comes back, then we'll fuck
to
it.
the back of my mind. When I went to grab it, it said, no, I'm over here.
Welcome back.
No, what went wrong with his career was Ryan Reynolds, because it's just one of those things where he's got that similar look and probably the same sense of humor. It's like, well,
you're
we
right.
already got one of these.
You are right.
And even he can't seem to get a break. He's
right.
in
Like,
these
fuck
big
that guy
movies, and
forever.
he all picks the wrong ones every time.
Oh, but I'm sorry, Leon. You got a couple of more thoughts on the floor right there.
You can fuck those.
Yeah, they left skid marks.
But you know what? I don't have much more to say about this. Really, what would you give it?
Man, I honestly, there's a part of me that wanted to give it some old bullshit because I just felt like it wasted my time. I did not like the way that it was so self-indulgent, and it was just so Dax Shepard going like, okay, clearly the studio's never going to let me be a leading man, so I'll just have to do this myself with my girlfriend who clearly could be a leading lady in something, but and my more talented friends. I really Bradley Cooper was probably like the brightest spot for me in it because not only I didn't know he showed up for free, but I thought he delivered on what he was supposed to do. At least, certainly in the beginning when he introduced his character, and Beau Bridges was a great surprise. But I ultimately just left it just flat and just kind of like, wow, I feel like this wasted my time. I'm gonna give it props for the things he was able to pull together and just give it a rental.
The thing with me about this is that, well, I agree with pretty much everything you're saying. I found it engaging on some level because it would take these bizarre turns in the story where it would do the last thing I would have expected, but nothing that was necessarily totally unrealistic. There were just weird little decisions in the movie. I was like, that was an odd writing decision to make that kept me interested. I was like, wow, what is this going to do next? And none of it adds up to anything at all. There's not any grand plan. It was more like somebody said, oh man, these things always go this way. Let's try and do something different. Then he actually had an idea for writing the whole thing coming full circle, which is a shame. If I had to say anything to Dax Shepard, it's like, man, just put some more work into this shit before you actually make the movie. You know what I mean? Get a writing partner. Something.
Exactly.
Don't film your own. Don't direct your own car chase scenes. Let somebody else do that, and have the final word on what stays in and what goes. Yeah, it's a shame. I thought there was a lot of heart as far as the whole, hey, I'm going to do it myself. Fuck it. I admire the guy for that and for pulling it all off. But yeah, ultimately, it's not that good of a movie. I'm going to give it a rental as well.
Yeah, Dax Shepard. Black
Serenge.
Whatever that guy's name is.
This from you going, it's going to be like totally different words in 10 minutes. Steve Austin.
This guy should pay as much attention as he pays to detail about his car and his rims and everything. He should pay that kind of attention to the craft of movie making. I mean, because this felt amateurish in every level, even to the script writing level, to where I could see the guy. I can really watching it. I could see the guy in his bed writing this goddamn script down, hanging next to goddamn Veronica Mars, just going, baby, is this funny to you? Oh, that's great. Oh, that's awesome. I knew you love it. I knew you love this scene. I mean, and that's how this movie plays out to me. And sure, the guy has friends. He's having a good time with the interviews. Film a documentary about the interviews. Maybe I'll get more of that than I did actually watching this movie. I mean, because it is ultimately a movie. It needed to entertain me, and it really didn't. It just made me go, man, this guy has a lot of money, a lot of friends, and he can go fuck around and make a movie whenever he wants. Where people like us are fucking. We're working for Korey. Yeah, we're dying to have that opportunity.
And I got barely $15. So.
What are you talking about anyway, Korey? We were in your movie. You already played that card
for free.
And you know what? He was actually trying to say something, I think. But this guy, not really. I mean, I was like, wow, this is like a poor man's drive. Like the poor's the poor. This isn't even the man. This is the hat that was left on the street that the guy forgot to pick up when he was getting changed. That's kind of how it felt to me. And I'm sorry, I have to give it some old bullshit. I mean, because when you're really selling something like this, don't be a used car salesman. Sell me something that you think is genuinely good, which I didn't think this was. So
I admit I'm kind of with Leon that I ended up liking the film a little bit more after hearing the question and answer and actually talking to Kristen Bell and Dax Shepard, because they were kind of adorable. And the more I talked to them, I'm like, man, I really like these people. They are so nice, except for when he'd touch her, and I was like, get your hands off her. I have claimed her.
I'm still sitting up here just thinking, what kind of friend, how do you get your $15 million friend to do shit for you for free?
I know, a real friend wouldn't ask that.
I know, a real friend wouldn't do it unless you got
a choice between that and helping somebody move. I'll take the
I kept thinking maybe he took a Polaroid of this Dax dude putting his balls on his fucking forehead.
That does sound like something.
If you don't, he's like, man, bro, if you don't fucking do this movie for free, man, I'm eating Cheetos over here. If you don't do this fucking movie for free, I'm releasing that picture. I'm sorry, bro.
No, that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking, what animal was Bradley Cooper fucking that Dax Shepard got pictures of that he did. He's like, I usually get $15 million. Yeah, you're about to get 15 million hits on this goat picture.
You're gonna be the Flash? I don't think so. I got this movie you're gonna do.
Yeah, I got this Flash photo right here.
This whole thing happened really fast, and I'm sorry.
Except for completely lying about who you are.
You may have had 3 ways with dudes. I don't know.
Whoa.
You owe me. What are you talking about?
I was in jail for 8 months.
Oh, you didn't like the gym equipment?
I got in prison because of you. Yeah.
I'm really, really sorry. Was it a black guy?
No, it wasn't a black guy.
Was it a Mexican guy?
No.
Was it one of those white guys?
Charlie?
It was Filipino! Solve your dilemma of a part of the world my ass traveled to?